ever tell you what the definition of insanity is? Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. That is crazy.
You know, I'm sometimes left baffled, I guess is the appropriate word in this situation, by people who make comments regarding their own, character in a television, video game, movie, whatever you want to say, whatever piece of entertainment you want to bring up. Whether it's the shitty voice actors for, people who, the ones who dub animes in English, whether those people who, frankly, shouldn't have any business saying the kind of things they are saying on the internet.
So how would you like to respond to that kind of criticism?
To the criticism, like, I have a vagina, deal with it.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Or, in this case, a live-action star talking about his character, saying one thing that seems positive, like a good thing for the, that would give people hope about the upcoming season of a show after, the first season was poorly received. Then go around and say something the complete opposite in regards to their own character, let alone the TV show. And yes, I'm talking about Halo, right? Because recently the star who plays the titular character of Master Chief, Pablo Schreiber, basically, did this whole interview, right? You can find it, there's a lot of articles that cover this interview, and you can find it anywhere on the internet at this point. There's also a ton of videos on this topic. It baffles me because you have in one instance in that same interview where he talks about how, the sex scene was a mistake and, he pushed against it, but he was shut down, which is a good thing, right? The fact that he, is saying, hey, this scene that really doesn't make any sense and was just fan fiction nonsense in the TV show. I didn't want this in here and I fought against it. And we also took back the, feedback from the fan base about how the aspects of season 1 they didn't like, right? Because guess what? There was a lot of criticism for season 1 and a lot, for the things they did. Then he goes around and says something completely different in regards to Master Chief with the whole helmet situation.
What?
I have made a video about it. I'm not, hiding that. I have made a video criticizing that whole decision made by Paramount and the studio behind the show and the showrunner. I criticize the creatives who made that decision, right? Because look, can I blame it entirely on Pablo, for example? No, that would be nonsense, right? However, that, faith or that willingness to give him the benefit of the doubt really wanes when he makes the comments that he did recently, where he goes, this is the decision we're going to go with, Master Chief, we need to tell the story of Master Chief, and we won't be able to do that with the helmet.
What the fuck is this?
And I am tired of this argument. I think it's a legitimately bullshit argument that people who can't write, who are unwilling to take on the challenge. How do you not, as a writer, find it interesting when you're given a premise and you have to kind of work with it and kind of find creative ways of getting around interesting roadblocks?
I am a woman. I am a funny woman. We are all talented, funny, powerful women. We are out here. It's going to happen. Deal with it. I'm sorry you're not getting laid. It's not about you. Move on.
Right? Master Chief is faceless for the entirety of the franchise of Halo. Are there instances where we've seen his face? Yes, as a child. There was the tiny glimpse of his face at the, in the legendary ending of Halo 4. But outside of that, how often do we really see his face? Not very often. And while I understand in the behind the scenes stuff about how, Pablo needs his face out there, I'm sure his agent was like, hey, he needs to have like this amount of face time so that his face is out there and recognizable for future roles for him after this show is done or whatever. However, Pablo talks about being a Halo fan. And I have to ask a question of, if you are a fan of Halo, if you're a fan of Master Chief, then why are you not at least willing to make concessions, right? I get it, business is business and you all this other stuff. However, sometimes, guess what? The actor who plays Darth Vader, for God's sakes, never has his face revealed until literally the end of Return of the Jedi. And to tell fans that if you don't like this decision, to basically fuck off. And I'm just sitting here going, how many times have we seen this, how many times have we seen companies pull this bullshit excuse and bullshit argument? If you remember, in the gaming landscape, Battlefield 5 had the same issue where there were a lot of problems, there was a lot of historical inaccuracies, and there were, generally speaking, a lot of things that seemed out of place with that period of time. They got criticism for it, and they immediately went, well, if you don't like it, don't buy our game. Now here comes the star of your TV show going, well, if you don't like this decision that we're making that was highly criticized by just about everybody, with obviously there were some who were okay with it, but from what I have seen, most seemed unhappy with the decision, or at the very least questioned the validity of the decision. Now, I just find this dumb on so many levels. This willingness to go out and say things like this. If this is the kind of marketing that Halo thinks is going to drum up not the interest, but the viewership to watch this show, then hell, I really hope they have a smart marketing team, because I can tell you, I don't know if this is going to work, Chief.